Hershey Park in Hershey, Pennsylvania is regarded as the sweetest place on earth with one of the best roller coaster lineups, but how do they fare against each other? In today's video, I'm going to rank all 14 roller coasters at Hershey Park from worst to best. Let me know down in the comments down below what your favorite roller coaster at Hershey Park is and if you agree with my list. If it's your first time here, I want to say welcome to the channel. I'm Austin for Park Hoppers Productions. I make videos about the theme park industry, videos, documentaries, top 10s, and so much more. So if you like that type of content, make sure you leave a like and a sub down below because 95% of you guys that watch my videos are not sub. So let's change that number. Starting off with our rankings, at the number 14 spot, we have Coco Cruiser. This is a kids roller coaster manufactured by Zamperla, and I have really nothing else to say on it because it's just a kids coaster. It's a great starter coaster for the kids and nothing else. So that's why it's at the 14th spot. Coming in at the 13th spot, we have Wild Mouse. It's your typical Wild Mouse. It's a pretty boring layout, pretty janky, but it's not the worst Wild Mouse I've been on. But like I said, there's other ones that are a little bit better than this, and it's just really a sore spot in the lineup for Hershey Park. At the number 12 spot, we have Trailblazer. It's an Aero Mine Train. It's nothing really too special. The last time I rode this was probably when I was like 14 years old. And like I said, it's a typical Aero Mine Train. It's nothing with great theming or anything. So it's really, like I said, Hershey Park is one of the best lineups, and this obviously does not compare to anything else in the lineup there. At number 11, we have the new-ish roller coaster. We have Jolly Rancher Remix. It's the Vekoma Boomerang. It was re-themed, so it has a really good theming, and unfortunately, the times I've got to ride this, it doesn't have the smells on it for some reason. The inside of this ride with the disco lights and all the theming for Jolly Ranchers is really good theming, but like I said, it's just a Vekoma Boomerang, so it's really can't be that much special in the lineup compared to everything else. But like I said, I like the theming. I just wish I could experience it with the smells. At the number 10 spot, we have Laugh Track. This is a Mauer spinner, and it really does lack the spinning for a spinning roller coaster. And the only times I forgot to ride it, like I said, I've only got to spin a few times, which was very disappointing. I appreciate the queue line. The spinning aspect of it, if you do get some spins, probably adds a little bit to the ride. But overall, it's just a pretty boring layout. And also the theming inside the roller coaster is pretty cool with the lights and all the gimmicky stuff. But like I said, it's really not the best spinning ride. And like I said, if you got spins, it might have been a little bit better. I don't know if this is a hot take because I'm not really big into the Hershey Park enthusiast community, but I have number 9 is Super Duper Looper. It's a Scorch-Off Looper. It's old, but really smooth for its age, and I think it's really cool with the setting it goes on, kind of the terrain it runs down, and I think it was smooth for what it was, but I heard other people say it's janky. But like I said, I think it was a smooth ride, and it really does ride good for its age. I think this is my first bigger hot take of the list. At number 8, I have Fahrenheit. Intamin is a great manufacturer for roller coasters, but this has a bad rattle for some reason, and the elements really don't hit as well as I thought they were going to hit. The first time I rode this back in 2014, I really did enjoy it. I had it in my top 25 as I only had like 60 coasters at the time. Now I have almost close to 200, and it's slowly falling down through my rankings. I don't even know if it's in my top 40. But this roller coaster, I just think the elements don't hit as well as I thought they were going to hit the last time I rode it this year, but we'll see in future rides. At the number 7 spot, we have Great Bear. This B&M invert is probably my least favorite invert I've ever been on, but it has a good setting over the water, and the layout is really kind of weak compared to any other B&M that I've been on. It's really not snappy. It's really not quick with its transitions and everything else with it. It is kind of fairly boring, but compared to the other rides at Hershey Park, it is middle of the pack. I just think it lacks an overall big standout element or an inversion that really calls the ride out and really makes it what it is. But it doesn't really have its own identity as it's just there with the other B&Ms. At the number 6 spot, the most surprising one that I have that moved a lot up my rankings this year was Comet. This PTC is really good for its age. It's one of the smoothest wood coasters I've ever been on, and it's probably one of the smoothest compared to anything minus a GCI wood coaster that I've ever been on. You get some decent pops of airtime, you go over the water, it has a good setting going right next to Sky Rush, and I was, like I said, really surprised by this when I rode it last year. I always have a soft spot for Woodies, and I just really do appreciate this roller coaster for how good it runs and how good Hershey Park has maintained this ride, and like I said, how smooth it is. And the layout is actually pretty good. It's not boring at all like some wood coasters, Hurler. So thank you, Hershey Park, for keeping up with this roller coaster and maintaining it. And I don't know, this is probably a way bigger hot take than I was expecting. For some people, I have Sky Rush, an Intamin Hyper, and like I said, the biggest thing that holds this ride back is the terrible restraints. I love a good intense roller coaster like Intimidator 305, as that's in my top 15, but this roller coaster truly is not fun. I have gave this ride countless tries, 10, 15, 20 tries, and every single time I've been stapled to my seat, and by the time I get off the ride, those restraints are killing my thighs, and I just want to get off. And it doesn't make for a good, enjoyable experience. The drop in the back row is one of the best drops I've been on, the way it's shaped, the way Intamin has shaped and profiled these hills. But I think the layout actually kind of lacks a little bit, and it's kind of boring. It's maybe a hot take for me to say, but let me know down in the comments down below if you're a Skyrush lover or a Skyrush hater. At the number 4 spot, we have Candemonium. This newer roller coaster, B&M Hyper, is smooth. I love the fountain. I love the airtime of this roller coaster. It's slowly getting up there with Mako, but Mako's slightly better than this roller coaster. But I do love the way they redid the whole front gate with this, with the fountain that it goes over. It's a very good spectacle, and it's a beautiful roller coaster. It's not the longest, it's not the shortest B&M Hyper, but I really do appreciate for what it was, and it does add a missing part to the lineup for Hershey Park with a good airtime-focused smooth ride. If you want to see rankings for where all these roller coasters do rank in my top 25, make sure you click the link above or in the description below and watch my top 25 after this video. Make sure you finish this one first because I have some hot takes coming up in the next 3 picks. At the 3rd spot, I didn't think it would be this high, but I really do appreciate Lightning Racer. Lightning Racer is technically 2 roller coasters, so it'd be 15 in the lineup, but I'm counting it as 14. I have a good relationship and friendship with the people over at GCI, so I really do appreciate this ride, and I'm not putting it at the 3rd spot just because I really do love GCI. The way that this layout is made with lightning and thunder is just so much fun. The way you weave in and out of each other, racing each other, you do get a race literally every single time you ride this ride. It never fails, and I've never rode the ride where I don't get a race. The way GCI profiled these turns and these transitions and these switchbacks, everything, it just hits perfectly in this ride, and it really does hold up for its age. I know it's not the oldest and it's not the youngest roller coaster at the park, but I think it's still very, very smooth from opening day. I think a lot of people overlook GCI sometimes for the older coasters they made, like Wildcat. Lightning Racer is one of my favorite racing coasters I've ever been on, and Mystic Timbers is my number 1 roller coaster out of any roller coaster I've rode, so it tells you a lot for my friendship and my love for GCI. At the number 2 spot, let me give a shout out to Stormrunner Sam because he's one of my favorite friends on my theme park community, and he did work at Stormrunner this year, and his name is Stormrunner Sam. But Stormrunner is one of my favorite Intamin accelerators and one of my favorite coasters I've ever been on. From the 70-mile-per-hour punchy first launch to the every element that hits, man, every element on this ride hits really well. You get good hang time, air time, and everything above on this Intamin accelerator. This ride can be very unreliable at times because it is an Intamin accelerator, but the times that it's fun watching it launch from the other side of the park, then racing over there because you're like, wow, I need to get on this ride. Like this year, when me and my friend, we do a Park Hoppers Radio, it's our podcast. We're going there for a park visit. We were invited by the park, and Stormrunner was down, but we saw it launch from the other side of the park, and we sprinted over, got a ride on it, and it was just so much fun. And it was my friend's first time riding it. And at the number 1 spot, no surprise to some people that watch my channel, is Wildcat's Revenge, the newest roller coaster to the lineup for Hershey Park. This RMC is truly amazing. It's one of my favorite roller coasters. It's my top 25. I'm not going to spoil where it's at in my top 25, but you have to watch the video. This roller coaster truly is a great layout. The second half of the layout isn't my favorite from any roller coaster for RMC, but the first part of the layout is truly elite. With the step-up underflip, the 0G stall, a 0G roll, and another 0G roll, this roller coaster, the elements really do hit, and my favorite part of the ride, funny enough, is the pre-lift section. The best pre-lift section out of any RMC. Like I said, in the end of the ride, I think the second part of the layout lacks, and there's that one weird transition. It's like an S-turn, which really throws you out of your seat and yanks you, but in a very uncomfortable way. I wish they added a small airtime hill, but with the profiling of what Wildcat used to be, maybe they couldn't do it, but that weird transition right there just really was very uncomfortable. Like I said, it's one of the best roller coasters I've been on. It's not my favorite RMC, but my favorite RMC, like I said, you can watch in the top 25 video, but I really do think this is one of the most elite roller coasters in the entire country. Every roller coaster RMC puts out is a masterclass minus Storm Chaser, but anyways, that's for another discussion. Like I said, Hershey Park has one of the best roller coaster lineups in the entire world. Let me know down below what your top 5 at Hershey Park is, and if you agree with my rankings, or if you don't, because you probably will disagree. I would say Hershey Park ranks in like the top 7 for roller coaster lineups. I don't know exactly where I'd put it, but I think in the top 7. If you enjoy theme park content, please consider leaving a like because it really does help my video get out to more people, and YouTube likes when you like and watch more of my videos at the same time. So make sure you watch a video after this so you can either watch my rankings of the Cedar Point roller coasters, or you can watch a ride history video on Dueling Dragons, or much more. I'm Austin from Park Hoppers Radio. Have a great day and ride on.